welcome to a new episode of Smash Writing.
That's not how you welcome the people.
Okay.
Welcome the people the right way.
Alright, give me that.
Hello, everyone! Welcome to Smash Writing. I'm your host, Justin. This is Paulie, who thought this was a good idea.
And
he's going to learn quickly that it was not.
we're going to take it away from him. Well, before we get started, as you know, Justin has been away for quite some time.
I apologize deeply. You were stuck with Paul. I couldn't imagine the hell.
So, let's explain your accident.
No.
Can't. It's not COVID, so we're okay.
It was not COVID. It was just an incident happened. I'm getting over it and everything. One day I'll tell you. At some point in time, maybe. Anyway, today's thrilling topic is, what is WWE doing good recently? Because every time you click on an article or you watch a video, it's normally something that they're doing completely awful and how bad it is and it's killing everything. But, to be fair, they are doing some good things. I mean, it is easier to hate on them. I mean, they're letting
I think the problem is, like, a lot of people, I mean, I know for one, when I look at articles and obviously when we brainstorm stuff, like, we've got to come across so much material. I think the biggest number right now is the ratings, and usually ratings means poor shows.
Yeah, but so many people are cutting the cord and DVR. I mean, ratings are a bit harder to gauge at this point than what they normally were back in the 90s. But this is a down period. It's not a fad, and like I said, WWE has a lot of issues. Their tag team division is almost non-existent, despite them having so many good talent that they could easily put together and actual just good teams that are just kind of going 50-50 with one another. Now, the Underground, no, I'm not giving it time. It's no good.
I've already forgot about Raw Underground.
Raw Underground? Yay!
What?
Oh, God.
Where do they, I want to know, where do they came up with that concept? And
I don't. Some delusion dream Shane had. And then, the fact that WWE wants you to suspend belief to believe that Seth Rollins could beat Brock Lesnar, but the idea that Shayna Baszler or Charlotte could beat Seth is insane.
So,
but anyway, that's enough of our little browbeating on WWE. Because like I said, this is happy thought time. The 5 things that they are doing really well right now, with one honorable mention.
You want to do the honorable mention
Honorable
first?
mention first. It's going to be Big E. I love the fact that they're pushing Big E.
It was time. Big E is the standard of what Vince likes. He's a good size. He's bulky. I think
charisma for days.
Yeah,
he's got more charisma than 3 people.
Yeah. And when they first brought him up, that kind of went away because he was mostly a henchman.
I want people to remember that mostly when they brought Big E up and when Xavier Woods and Kofi were running on their own, how little they did with them. Never break them up. You can push any of the 3, and it's perfectly fine for them to remain the New Day.
I always think that's the thing. Like when one wrestler gets a push, they break up the tag team. You don't have to.
Just keep them together. They're fine.
They can.
Wouldn't it be like something different to see the group supporting each other as equals? Like the Nation of Domination was a group from the 90s, obviously.
Yeah.
And everyone jumped behind the Rock, and the group dissolved the moment the Rock was gone.
Meanwhile, you had great talent on that. Yeah. I mean, you had Farouk, which Ron Simmons, aka Ron Simmons, the first, he was like the first African American champion of the world. You had, and that takes talent. You had Mark Henry, the world's strongest man.
They took him forever to get going. But anyway, we're getting off topic again. Back on topic, Big E. The only reason Big E is an honorable mention is that I still want to see this grow a little bit more before I get fully invested. I really hope he goes far though, with the New Day behind him, because that's how it always should be for the 3 of them.
And Xavier Woods should be coming back in a couple more months, right?
He probably should, but I don't want to say yay or nay on that because he had a bad injury.
And Kofi's legitimately out with a back injury. That wasn't storyline, or is it?
I think from what I heard, he just wants to spend more time with family and everything, but he could.
And we know he has a couple of kids, but
I don't know how true the injury is. It could be a real injury. I mean, but Big E push.
I'm happy to, and plus it's a fresh blood. I mean, go back to Kofi winning the title we all love Kofi, but it was also a new title holder.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Big E's anywhere near that, obviously.
Even if they don't put him toward the Universal, like, point him toward the Intercontinental. Let him run with the Intercontinental, and then
he had a couple of reigns, right, as Intercontinental?
He might have, I don't remember.
Even on his solo days,
like,
I think.
It would be a big help for the title, too. The stars could build the title up a little bit, and then AJ Styles is already doing a great job with the Intercontinental title, giving it that workhorse feeling that Big E could easily carry over, and then a successful run with the Intercontinental could launch Big E into the Universal title picture.
Now let's go to number 5.
Number 5. Well, this isn't in any particular order, and you can call it number 5 if you want, but it's not. Seth Rollins in the Dominic storyline. I'm calling it the Dominic storyline because I wasn't really on board with Seth and Ray. The I versus I was cheesy as all hell, but Seth and Dominic have Seth's really just brought this storyline all the way up to where it is, and Dominic's willingness to just kill himself to make this a must-see match has made people really invested in seeing what this kid could do, and I think that a big part of why.
And he's legitimately, I mean, we know he's signed to WWE, but he's like legitimately now official wrestler on the.
Well, I think he's been in our training system for a while now.
Okay, and he's a young guy, and so if he, this storyline is big because it's like Ray is big, a big time star. I want to see what they do with Dominic after this feud. Yeah. Because then we'll see how much talent Dominic has, and not that he's fighting for his father's honor and stuff like that. So
But the beating he took on Monday, man, he's really kind of stepping out onto his own. He kind of made him his own person. The big part of that, again, has to go to Seth. He may be an idiot online and doesn't quite understand what he's saying is so far dumb. But he's a great talent, great in-ring wrestler, one of the best. I'm not going to say the best. He's one of the best.
It's always hard.
And he's such a great heel. His Messiah role is perfect for him.
I've been, in today's wrestling, you have so many people go good guy, bad guy, good guy, bad guy. What do you like to see Seth truly as?
Seth should always be a bad guy because he does not know how to handle himself outside of WWE. As a good guy.
Like he's truly a douche.
He's made himself a bad guy because he just can't be the good guy in real life.
And this Messiah role...
I'm all for it. I'm not trying to make him sound like he's a bad guy for standing up for the company. That's great. You should be loyal to the company you love. The fact that where he crossed the line was saying he's the best because of his bank account. That's just gross.
There's so many great talents that...
Just because they don't come to WWE doesn't mean that they're bad.
And even the ones in WWE, you also got to look at the time frame too. I mean, I'm using John bank account numbers. You look at John Cena's bank account numbers, it's bigger than a big star of the 80s. Yeah. You pick a star of the 80s. Let's say not skills.
We're getting off topic. We're supposed to be talking good.
Right.
Good, positive things. Next.
But no, overall, I do like Seth as a bad guy. I do enjoy the Messiah role as well.
Yeah,
and
he's perfect for the Messiah, and he's, like I said...
I didn't want Seth to be like the previous bad guy roles that he's done. You do have to keep it fresh.
And he does.
And he's been... This whole Dominic feud...
I wasn't on board for it at first, but the fact that Dominic has just been killing himself, making himself stand out.
Paying his dues. Paying his dues.
I don't say paying his dues, that's dumb. That's a conversation for another day.
You're right.
Next up, Sasha Banks and Bayley. I know they're pretty divisive. A lot of people don't like them. They find them annoying. That's what they're supposed to be. You're not supposed to like them. They're supposed to be overt, obnoxious, make you want to see someone dethrone them. And those two have been the best at it in a long, long time.
Sasha as a heel, I always liked. It's sad because I've never liked Bayley as a heel, but maybe that's because of the way she's portraying it, but they do feed off each other.
But her becoming this just obnoxious, she's over the top with everything she does.
Yeah.
And it's made her a better heel.
I just don't like her haircut.
How dare you? That's an adorable haircut. I love that haircut.
No!
But I will say one thing. They really did need Asuka fighting both of them at SummerSlam. they could have been anyone else fighting Bailey. Like Asuka didn't need to win the Battle Royal. Because then it's like, oh, there's more than just these three. It could have been someone else. But beside that little hiccup in the road, it's just been a fun blast with they. And give credit where credit's due. Sasha went to NXT and put over an NXT talent in Io Shirai, which is a lot more than their goddess, or their big bright star Charlotte did in her entire NXT title run after Mania.
Oh, he's still so bitter about that.
Bitter. Just
we did a predictions, and did we predict that she was going to win the NXT, or
you did.
I did, okay.
But she didn't do anything in NXT. She didn't help anyone. She just went down there.
I mean, we all know that was a move to probably fight AEW, and it failed.
Yeah. Anyway, Sasha and Bailey have just been some of the highlights, especially on SmackDown.
And they I mean, I understand this situation. The split brand thing is kind of out the door because it's all in one place. But when this all clears up, I do kind of hope they kind of keep that.
Well, they're already talking about doing a draft soon.
Okay.
September, I think, October.
Okay, well, there you go.
Next.
Yeah, go ahead and introduce the next one.
If anyone has been following on the blogs and podcasts for a year or so, knows that. And you all are following on the blogs and podcasts, right? I mean, I know Paul can be annoying, but you can follow me. Just look for the blue woman. That's me.
I'm the star.
You'll know that I'm really high on Sonya Deville.
Yeah.
And I think her and Mandy rivalry has been really good. The SmackDown kind of it's kind of put a little hiccup in it because there's no way that, I think anyway, that Sonya is going to come out of a hair versus hair match as a winner. But as long as she can come out of it with a lot of momentum, as long as they give Mandy and Sonya time at SummerSlam, so they both walk away looking really good, then Sonya can be a massive heel. Yeah. And even go after the title out of this.
Between these two, I always thought, Mandy was the weaker one. And I don't watch many of her matches. I know she's in this stupid love story with Otis and all that, which...
Yeah, so he said it's stupid, not me. Just remember that.
I mean, it is because, I feel like the women, a lot of the women at WWE are beautiful, but Mandy is, I don't see her too much as an in-ring talent anymore because of the storyline. So, you're right. She's probably going to win this one because she's the bombshell. But you gotta make sure. I want her to bring her talents full on with this match that's coming up in SummerSlam.
And the fact that the rivalry just feels so emotional and you're invested in.
Yeah, because
when Sonya talks, she actually, you hear the emotion coming out of her, and she's not so robotic as some of the other wrestlers tend to be sometimes.
Well, I think
this one has just been so good.
It's like when you touch upon a subject that's probably more deep to a person, with her being a lesbian and everything like that, they get overshine and to no fault of their own and stuff like this. So this could be a more personal matter. So she can.
She wants to step up and represent. That's great. She's doing perfect with it.
Yeah, and once again, we knew with Fire and Desire, she has the talent. So once again, I want to see what they do after this.
Yeah, they can really book Sonya into the next big heel.
Yeah, she does have the fighting background and all of that. So they have two different talents, but two good talents. I said they book Mandy to look like the bombshell, but she may be very, very good in the ring. I haven't really seen it because that's the way they're portraying her right now. But this whole storyline, friends fighting. Different situations. How long has this feud has been going on since?
No, probably January, February, somewhere.
So it's almost...
It's been off and on so much because of the pandemic. Santo said it's not there and it's taking extended breaks and stuff, but the fact that we're able to keep this rivalry going until SummerSlam is kind of amazing.
Right, but now I do hope they know when to stop it too.
Yeah.
And SummerSlam, their biggest pay-per-view of the summer, their 3 of the big 4, and of course the next one will be Survivor Series. Gotta do something fresh for there, because now you gotta build towards the Rumble. Yeah. But that's You made this list, and this is probably.
Paul's just nodding. It's all he's here for is to be the nodder.
You have a lot of the 6 females on this list.
Because they're the ones pulling the weight right now. What do you want from me?
No, so introduce the next.
The next one is me stretching so far for this. Shayna and Baszler and Asuka. Now, we've seen them fight a little bit at the Elimination Chamber, and they locked up again yesterday on SmackDown during the Battle Royal. But I'm referring more to the standoff in a way Monday Night Raw, when Shayna wished Asuka all the luck because she's going to be waiting for her, and that would be amazing. That is the long-term rivalry booking we need, and it writes itself because in NXT history, the 2 most dominant female champions that they've had
Who had the
are
longest
Asuka
reign?
and Shayna.
Who had the longest reign? Do you remember?
The longest reign?
Yeah.
Oh, Asuka.
Really?
I believe it was Asuka. That's really close. I don't know which one.
Yeah, that's something interesting.
I think it was Asuka because Asuka didn't even lose until Charlotte.
Okay. I just know they were both up there though.
Yeah. They both had
They might be 1 and 2.
And but they've been dominant just the way their victories and down in NXT, the rivalry writes itself. All you have to do is not mess it up. You
gotta say that with such a straight face to understand what we're
Don't immediately book them to fight each other. Let this drag out. Drag it out. Just hints it there that they are looking at one another from like across the room and you're waiting for them. Have Asuka even, if I'm booking it, have Asuka win it, the match at SummerSlam for the title. And then do like little feuds here and there, but Shayna's watching.
Yeah.
And then have Shayna win the Rumble.
I mean,
which kind of hurts because I kind of want Rhea to win the Rumble, but maybe for the sake of the storyline, which I think could be the biggest thing they got.
It's basically going to be a flip of a coin.
Just like try to drag this out to Mania with them having as little contact as possible. No stupid breakup fights. But that could be the biggest thing they got, and it's coming off with such little interactions. Because that match could be amazing. Give them 20 minutes and they'll beat the hell out of one another.
Give them 20 minutes, I think they could do a match of the year.
Yeah.
Honestly, if that's what they're aiming to do, like if they're aiming to have this big feud between those two, because that would be perfect. And like I said, you do it all right.
Promo videos, like you just see clips of their
This
NXT
is one of those
run.
feuds you could probably stretch out, but I don't want to see them like best out of 3 matches, like what Braun and Fiend's doing. Don't give me that. Give me like a couple of teases here and there, and then give them a match and make that match the highlight of the year.
Yeah.
That's what I want. But like I said, it's all about, obviously execution is half of it. The plan, they do have to do it right.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is stretching.
No, I'm stretching. Like I'm just taking a couple moments here and there, and like this could be great. Do it, run with it, but don't abuse it. Because if you abuse it, you'll lose all momentum these two can have.
Right. Now, as the final thing that they're doing right is Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre, his title reign is the best. It's memorable. He's so good at promos. He makes matches you don't think you want to see, like between Drew and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Like, that was awesome.
Because not only is he big, but he's athletic.
Not just one match with Dolph Ziggler, but 2. You wanted to see it because they were so good at the promos.
Yeah.
And you want to see all of his matches. You want to catch everything he says. And I know a lot of people will be like, Drew and Orton are good. That's amazing. And yes, it is. And Orton is doing some really great work. But Orton only ever does great work when he wants to do great work. So I'm not giving him any credit.
Orton's one of those too good for his own talent type thing. Like,
but
I have been watching.
Please do not. Like I keep seeing this rumor. Everyone keeps saying it's have Drew lose and then win the belt in front of a live crowd. Yes, that would be amazing. But WWE has called and changed their minds so many times over the past on things. Do you really want to see Drew lose the title and then before he gets his big win, they change their mind and not do it?
I feel like if you're going to do something like that, it can't be.
I want to see Drew welcome back everyone as a champion.
I do too. I said
that would be the better response.
If you're going to have him lose the title and get it back when there's an audience, it can't be like, okay, you lose it at Backlash.
It would be SummerSlam, because that seems to be what the rumor believes. It's like, no, what? The moment you can have that live crowd again, Drew should be the one who comes out and welcomes him back as a champion.
Because, I mean, when the crowd stopped, they were deeply behind him, and it sucked that. And I said this on several of our episodes after Mania, regarding Mania, or even prediction before Mania. Drew was one of those talents that you knew he deserved it, and his story is, you always get those feel-good champions that they finally got it. Drew's one of those people that finally made it after going through getting released. 3-man band, of all those things, you're like, Drew needed it the most, not Ginger.
Ginger.
Whatever, I don't even like him.
How dare you? Ginger's not bad.
The roids. The roids, is too obvious, but, I want the crowd to fill in the glory that we missed at WrestleMania, because...
that should be, the big opening.
When the first crowd comes back, that should be on the screen, him winning the title at WrestleMania, because
not even just that. Can you imagine the pop if welcome to Raw, and the crowd's going crazy, and the next thing they hear is Drew's song music play, and out comes the champion that we've been waiting to cheer for. You don't want to have to redo it. You're just trying to recapture the magic.
Another thing that I do like is, he is a face, but he's not cartoonish.
Yeah, he's not a dumb face. He doesn't. You can't.
You can't see me.
Well, right now Orton can, because Orton can do RKOs from everyone. That's his thing.
Yeah.
But before Orton, you couldn't run up and assault him from behind because he was ready for you.
Right.
And that made him better than any face we've seen in a while with the title.
And with Drew, he's not doing the cheesy good guy promos. He's like, hey, I'm a good guy, but I'm gonna beat you down.
Yeah.
Point blank. As they keep, it's definitely, if they keep that going, as long as they don't try to change his character by any means to make it feed the crowd and all that.
He doesn't need a character change for quite a while.
Yeah, because disregarding the pandemic, his character is fresh overall, because we were not getting too much of the baby faces people. He said he's a good guy, but he's also going to fight too. And he can put on a good match. He has the talent. You don't like to say he's a Vince guy, because that usually is
No, Vince earmarked him on his debut as the next big thing.
And
it took a while,
and
but
that
he got there.
that storyline, what really makes you feel for his character, because he was known as the chosen one that just never came about, then was forgotten. Then he comes back in better shape than he was when he left.
Yeah.
Made a bigger name for himself, and at first it did seem like they were going to keep him in that henchman role.
Yeah.
Because he came back in 2018?
Probably somewhere like that. It took him a while to get back.
And he was Dolph Ziggler's sidekick. Now, Dolph alone does not need a sidekick, but they managed to get over that with the Shane role too. Yeah. And now they're doing everything great with him.
Yeah.
So
don't derail momentum now just to try to recapture the magic later. We already got that magic. It's bottled right now. We're just waiting for it to unload with the first flag drop again. And it will be just a massive ovation.
So that is currently our top 5 of what WWE's doing right. Justin will be back.
At some point, eventually.
Justin will be here next week doing predictions regarding SummerSlam. So we'll all be tuning in to see what he predicts. And I think he's
all winners.
I think he's 0-100, but we won't hold that against him.
Coming from Paul's only time he hasn't lost was because we tied.
But until next week.
Bye-bye.